Well, about 3:30 they told me, so I said, well, I'll go ahead and find out. Matt Tiger. Matt Tiger. I'll go back to. Okay.
Isn't she Mvhayv?
Mvhayv, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, here you go. When we say istungo, you would say ihe tungoros. Cause I guess when I myself and my family never had to say hishte. We just say istungo. And so see, hishte more is formal. But the way we are in a group, we say istungo. And your response would be ihe tungodos. Ihe tungodos. Imongosha. Now I want y'all to hear the tones. Tones has everything to do with language. Imongosha would say imongosh. Hear that tone? Because you can't just go up to somebody and somebody says imongosha. You can't say imong. You gotta
Mvhayv.
They're saying, yeah, everything is the same. Imongosh. Imongosh. Okay. And then you say istungon, I forgot. Istungesos. Seems to be no problems. Seems to be no problems. And this is how we speak in our world. This is how we speak in our world. And that's the point.
Mvhayv, we do actually have a problem.
Do we?
That's
What's
the
going
best.
on?
We can't see the shared screen that y'all put up with all the words and everything. So thank you so much. Oh, there we go.
There
I don't
you
know
go.
about anybody else, but that's it. But oh.
So here you go. Istungo. And a lot of times we don't even use the E. We just say stungo. We take the E off. Now there's in some cases right here, you have to put the E here. Imongosha. But here we just say stungo. Right here you would say imongosha. And right here, you would have to put the E there. Istungon athaga. This is how, I guess you could say this is older language, I guess, to a point. I wouldn't say it's the way it was way back then, but this is how I heard my family speak. So when somebody says istongo, you would say ihe dongo dos. Imongosha, you could say imongos. Istungon athaga. Istunges os. Okay, istunges os. And right here, abalwa dongon aboga. Abalwa dongon aboga. That's in your household. The rest living with no problems. Dongon aboga. But when you're talking about your church people, your ceremonial ground people, your community, you'll say abaldagi dongon aboga. The rest living with no problems. And of course, abaldagi is 2 or more people. And you say jinakta. What about yours? So if you come up here, say istongo, ehe dongo dos. And then when you get down to here, abawa dongo naboga, the rest living with no problems, you can say ehe dongon aboges. But you would say jinakta. How about yours? That's just formal. That's just like a greeting in English. You're saying, hello, how are you? How's your family? They're okay. How about yours? That's just exactly what this is going through, okay? Now, this is the way I greet people. I hardly ever say he's Jay. I don't, if I use it, I don't know when I use it. And I got one person in here with me. She's a speaker. She's a fluent speaker too. So this is how we greet people. Okay, we're going to go back to yesterday. We kind of got off track, but look here. We studied days of the week. That's what we're going to go back to. Sunday. And this is Crinklish, what you call Crinklish right here. It's a mixture of the language and English. And I call it Crinklish. Sunday. But listen to the tone. We say Sunday, but this is Sunday. Sunday. Figapkanita. Figapkanita is rest day. And you know, my grandmother wouldn't do nothing on Sundays. I don't know why. She wouldn't sew either. In the summertime, you'd find her on a porch, just sitting there, twiddling her thumbs like this. Just twiddling her thumbs. That's rest day. She said, you know, you're not supposed to do anything on that day. And she was traditional. She was a traditional. She was married to a chief of a ceremonial ground, but she still wouldn't do nothing on Sundays. And then Nitta Jago. Nitta is day, and Jago, the base word for Jago is ajagi, which means valuable, or precious day. So they cut that Nitta Jago, little sacred day. It is sacred. It's sacred that Sunday. Okay. Monday. Hear the tone? Monday. It's you can tell it's they're trying to say Monday, but it's not exactly. In English, it's Monday. Monday.
Monday.
There you go, Monday.
Oh.
And it's in Hadijiska. In Hadijiska is the beginning of things. In Hadijiska. Look here. Tuesday. Tuesday. That's Tuesday. Tuesday. In Hadijiska, in Hayatki. That means the morning after the beginning. Okay? The morning after the beginning. In Hadijiska, in Hayatki. My mom used to say Monday in Hayatki. Or she'd say Monday in Hayatki. Different. She'd say Monday in Hateki, but it's the same thing. Okay, here we go back to Crinklish. Wednesday, Wednesday. It's Wednesday, Wednesday. Inaskaba. Inaskaba is the middle. Means middle. Middle of something. So Wednesday is Inaskaba. Thursday. Thursday. Inaskaba in Hayaki. Morning after the middle. See, this is mostly repetition. Right here. Friday. Friday. Ilawichkanita. Fasting day. Fasting day. For the church people, they started fasting on Fridays. We started fasting starting Friday too. The churches kind of go with are modeled against the grounds. They're modeled against the grounds, our ceremonial grounds, because the churches are modeled against the ceremonial grounds. So they call this Friday. Ilawichka nita. Ilawichka is to make hungry. Ilawichka, this word right here is to make hungry. To make yourself hungry. And it's fasting in English. Saturday, Saturday, Nitya Jak Joshi. Nitya Jak Joshi. Saturday, brother of sacred day. Okay, look here. Jock is the base word for jock is a jagi. A jagi, precious, just like it was up here. Precious day. Nitya Jak Joshi, brother. Ijoshi is a brother of somebody. So they cut it down, Nitya Jak Joshi. Saturday, brother of sacred day. Nitya Jago is the whole week. It's the whole week. So like if you say in 1 week, Nitya Jago Din Hamgi. The week after, this week, Din Hamgi. You would say that. Any questions on this? Any questions? This is
Yes, ma'am.
uh-huh.
How do y'all still fast on Fridays, and then when do you start your fast and when does it end, and do you have special foods that you break the fast with, like a particular
Oh.
kind of soup or something like that?
No kind of soup. Now for churches, they start on Fridays and they have their we call it what do you call it?
What are you trying to say, Mvhayv?
Yeah, I'm trying to say what is breaking bread?
Communion?
Communion.
Yeah.
Yeah, communion. So that's what that is before they start their communion. Now at the grounds, they start on Friday, close to midnight, and then they go all day Saturday before they have to fast before they partake in the ceremony, and that ends on Sunday for both of them. And they end on Sunday, and there's no special foods or anything for it. It's just except for the Lord's Supper. They do the churches do, but now for the grounds, they have to wait till the sun is straight up.
No.
It says my ground starts fasting on the Wednesday prior to ceremony. Ceremony starts for us on Friday, but fast is broken on Saturdays. Really? Yeah, ours is it starts on Friday, close to midnight, and then we go all day Saturday fasting, and then Sunday. That Sunday, close to I guess about noon for some grounds. Yeah. You know, for some grounds it's close to noon. So that's how they do that. Okay, here we go. Telling time. Now, if you notice, this is everyday things that we're going over, every day that we live with. It has nothing to do with anything else, but every day, because we look at a clock every day. I mean, in here we do, that's a habit. We can't wait till 5 o'clock. But this starts in the morning. We're looking at the clock because we have to come to work. We're looking at the clock at noon. And days of the week, we live with days of the week. And then we have greetings. You greet somebody every day.
Yeah.
Every day. We greet somebody every day. Okay. So, sun measure. This is descriptive. It's a descriptive sun measure. How many? Hasiskifka. Hasi, the base word for hasis is hasi. Iskifka is the measurement. Najoma, how many? How many is a number on the sun measure? And that's what a clock is. It's a sun measure. But way back, I don't even know my grandmother knew numbers. She would say, if she was telling us a story or telling us what happened, she'd say, after midnight, Niti Naskabahuyano. She'd say, past midnight, she would say, she saw this or she heard something. She heard something. But she didn't say, well, I heard something 3 o'clock this morning or 2 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
They'd say, Niti Naskabahuyano. And I don't even know if she knew how to tell time, but she'd say after midnight. That's how she said it. Okay, so sun measure, how many to be? This is literal translation. It says, Hasiskifka najomat otha. Hasiskifka najomat otha. It's actually, if you want to get down to, it's saying, what is the clock saying? But right here, sun measure, because the clock is a sun measure. How many to be? Okay, it's 1 o'clock. There's several different ways you can say it's 1 o'clock. Hamgat orthis. They just say it's getting to be 1. Hamgat orthodos. It is getting to be 1. Hamgis, it's 1. It just depends on that person that's telling you, because they can answer any way they want to right here. Any one of this, and it's understood by another speaker. It's 2 o'clock. Look here, it's changed up here. Look here. Hopgolat orthis. Hopgolat, or well, it didn't change up. Hopgolat orthodos. Hopgolis. Same thing, it's repetition. Okay, it's 3 o'clock. Dochinat orthis. Dochinat orthodos. But I want y'all to look at this. I'm going to go back up to 1 now. Hamgat. The base word for Hamgat is Hamgin. Hamgam means it is. Hamgin is 1. Hamgat means it is 1. Okay. The endings, remember the endings and the beginnings. Okay. Okay, Amy said, I have great respect for that fasting. You know, for us, fasting gave us that strength to, it gives you strength, and it's how can I put that? I don't know how to explain that. I don't know how to explain it in English. It was like it was a ritual for one thing. And it was to I want to say get your body ready for what was coming. Cleansing, yeah.
Yeah.
Cleansing. So that's what that was. Okay, it's 3 o'clock. Duchinat orthodos. The base word for duchinat is duchinen, 3. Duchinat orthodos. Duchines. See, this is saying it's 3 right there. It's 4 o'clock. Orstat orthos. Orstat orthodos. Orstis. It's 5 o'clock. Jakibat orthos. Jakibat orthodos. Jakibis. It's this is how we actually speak. It's 6 o'clock. Ibagat orthos. Ibagat. Ibagat orthodos. Ibagas. So if I ask somebody, Hashiskika Najoma, they say Ibagat orthos or Ibagat orthodos, or they can just say Ibagas. 6 o'clock. But you know what? Okay, here's the thing right here. What if you're just standing there saying Ibagas? But the way you get this is somebody says, Hasiskika Najoma. Okay, it's 7 o'clock. Gulabagat orthos. Gulabagat orthodos. Gulabagat. It's 8 o'clock. Jinabagat orthos. Jinabagat orthodos. Jinabagis. And see, this is how we talk to each other. It's 9 o'clock. Ostabagat orthos. Ostabagat orthodos. Ostabagis. It's 10 o'clock. Balat orthos. Balat orthodos. Balis. And we knew, you know, I don't remember ever asking for time. When I was growing up. I don't remember, but
How you heard it.
that's how I heard it, you know, because I guess my grandma asked somebody and they would tell her this, you know, and that's how I heard it. Just like your greetings, that's how I heard it. That's how I heard them. I didn't, you know, his is more like formal, like hello, you know, but we just say, how are you? And that's exactly what you say almost in English. How are you?
Yeah.
And that's the way we were. This okay. I'm gonna go back to something here. Tones. Tones is something we need. And y'all heard my tone. Y'all heard my tone. Tones has everything to do with language. Sounds has everything to do with language. You break down this ido. E-D-O. Remember that O? You gotta have that O. It's not O. And I've heard people say O and they say Ito. Ito. That's there's no such word in the Mvskoke language as Ito. It's Ido. Ido. Hear that tone? Ido. Haji is tail. Hachi is stream, a small one, okay? Chito, when you got two consonants together like this, you gotta pronounce both of them. But remember, you got to know where your tongue is placed because the language is real prominent in the mouth. If you can't pronounce something, and if I pronounce it for you and you're looking at my mouth, you'll get it. Because it's real prominent. Okay, chito, chito. I hear, you don't hardly hear that first D here because it's on your tongue. You can feel it. Chito. The last part is said, the O, but the first part, your tongue is on top of your palate behind your front teeth. Chito. Same here. G. You can't hear this first G, but if you go G, that G is on top of your palate. G. And that's how your enunciation comes together. And that's why I stress sounds and tones. Okay, look here. This part I do like. I like this part because it kind of shows more of what the tone is and tells you. A hoof is laksa, laksa, laksa. Okay. You can have, and it's a hoof. But remember, if you want to make, now this is where you're going to learn to put context together. You can say ijolaksa, sakolaksa, wagalaka, istila. Waga, anything with a hoof, you can name this. But a liar, this is where the tone comes in. Laksa. You drag it out. You say, Mesti laksa dosti. Boy, that person is a liar. And you emphasize it. I got one my coworker in here. He told me quit calling him that. But see, that's where this tone comes in. It's spelled the same, but the tone changes the meaning of the word. That's why tones are very important. Tones are very important. Okay, vibe. This is a faga, Okay, but hunting is dragged out. Faga, that's hunting. And you can put anything to this right here. Ijofaga, deer hunting. Chofifaga, rabbit hunting. So I could say, Oscar, Chofifaga. Ah, yes, he went to go hunt rabbits. It's just putting words together, guys. This is where context will start coming into you, okay? Haji. Listen now. Tail. This is kind of weird here. Haji. The huh is there. Haji. But here you got Haji. And it could be dialect, but the way I say it with a D here. Haji. How do you say it, Carol?
Like that.
Haji.
Uh-huh.
In the dictionary, it's got this. Haji. And if you say it slow, you can hear that double G in there. Right here, Haji. Your tongue's on your palate, but for us, I guess it's dialect. I always did mine with a D where this first G is. Haji. And Haji. Haji. Mesti Haji. Says drunk. Drunk. This one, I love this one right here. This really shows you tone right here. Ili, short sound. Ili is a leg. Ili. But when you're saying you're dead, you say ili. Ili. See the difference there? It's spelled the same, but one is ihi and one is ili. So when you and they'll say, well, how do you know which one is which? You got to learn these words to know what the tone is going to be, okay? So when they say husband, you know it's ihi. And when it's dead, yes, you say ihi. It's spelled the same, but the tone changes it. And I don't know if that dictionary, do they put short sounds or do they put a mark on there where it's long?
No.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so there you know where that long is coming in. Yeah, you'll know because the dictionary does that. I don't ever pay attention to it.
I didn't either, but I know some people ask.
Yeah. He's
I, li-
looking at it.
I like the highlights with the marks because it helps me, Mahaya,
Uh-huh.
because learning Hawaiian back in elementary school in Hawaii, they would stress us to use the apostrophes and all of that. It
Yeah.
was
uh-huh.
and so it helps me to I can figure out how to say the word when I see those marks in
Yeah.
our
uh-huh.
dictionary.
Well, you know, when we do papers, now everything that we do, we can't, like I told you before, we can't go to an educational store and buy them. We create it.
Yeah.
And our typewriters, I mean, our computers are not made to put those long marks, short marks on there. So we have to just do, you know, I used to put long on here, but then, you know, I think language is vocal, so I'd rather say it vocally, you know. So, ihe,
Mhm.
ihe. Spell it the same. And this where, and you know when tones are important, sounds are important. He's looking at it. He's looking at that. But if he sees it again, that's confusing right there. He that's what it is. Okay. Look here. You're going here, or ah. And these aren't spelled the same. But this is where it shows you where there's a and a ah. A grasshopper. Duffel. If you see that word duffel. And then here, you got the double consonant. Your teeth is on your bottom lip. You go full. Duffel. It's prominent in the mouth. You don't hear that V in there, but when you say it, you hear that right there. Your teeth is on your bottom lip. See how prominent it is in your mouth? Duffel. And then you got, look here, car. Dummy. Dummy. And that's exactly how they say it. They say dummy. They don't say dummy. They say dummy. And it's a car. And this is Crinklish, actually. Dummy. It's a d me e. D me e. Dummy. This is short for automobile. It's Crinklish for automobile. They couldn't say automobile, so they said dummy. Dummy. We didn't have coffee in the homelands. We didn't know what coffee was. So we had to make it Crinklish. We had to make it sound Creek. Or I don't even say, they couldn't say coffee. So they said coffee. Coffee. It's got that long coffee. Okay, hawk. Ayo. That's a hawk. Loja. If this was loja, which I've heard it's in that way, loja, that's not a word in Mvskoke, but loja is a turtle. Okay, that tone, loja, but loja is not a word. Okay. Yanasa. This has got short, blunt sound. Yanasa. But if we put this long in there, it would be Yanasa. And there's no such thing as that. Okay. It has to be Yanasa. Okay. Jaboja, my grandfather. And when it says my, going back to personal pronouns, ja is saying it belongs to you, you possess it. and it cannot be transferred. You can't give it away. It belongs to you and you only. So this is the possessive pronoun, ja. Jaboja. But if I said your grandpa, I could say jiboja. Jiboja is second person. That's personal pronouns. Jaboja, my grandfather. Apple. Sada. Sada. But if we put the "a" in there, that wouldn't even be a word. Sada. There ain't no word. There's no such word as sada. So it has to be the sada. Gaba. Gaba. Gaba is a coat. That's a long sound. Gaba. And that's exactly how we say it. Gaba. Gaba jaquito. You better take your coat. Gaba. Peach. Bagana. Bagana. Cow. Waga. Waga. Hear that? Ah. Waga. Alligator. Halbada. Halbada. Hear those sounds? This is part of our language. And it's sounds, tones. We don't, we have to call it words, but it's not words. It's actually, we communicate in sounds, okay? We communicate in sounds. We just communicate in sounds. That's why I stress sounds. We communicate, and if you get a chance, go over your sounds. Go over them, the 2, 3 letter sounds. Because those sounds make our communication skills. And I don't know how else to put it. We communicate in sounds. My grandma had an old cow that she had, and it had a calf. And the calf took off, like I said before, when I was little. And it was crying. And my grandmother said, she'll find it because they got a certain sound that she knows it's hers. And when the mother cow moved back, she said the baby will follow because she knows that sound. See, we're kind of like that. We communicate in sounds. We communicate in sounds. So any questions on this? Any questions on the greetings, forms of greetings, days of the week, telling time, or tones? But I stress sounds and tones really, really, and I mean, it can get monotonous. Okay. I or E. I or E. Ijo. Ijo. That's got to be short sound. Ijo. We can't say Ijo. It's Ijo. Short. Ijo. Figi. This is long to me. Figi. Figi. It's hard. Iwanwa. Iwanwa. That's a tricky one. What is that? Iwanwa. Is it long or short? It's long. Iwanwa. If you said Iwanwa, that's not right. It's Iwanwa. Abissi. 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 Listen to the 2 consonants here. Abissi. It's the E. And you can hear that first C. Abyss. It's a hiss. And then you say C, but it's there. There's no silent sounds. Igana. Igana. That is long. Because you don't say igana. Igana. It's igana. Iga. Okay, here we go. They switched up on us. Iga. Iga is short sound. We can't say yiga like you say igana. Iga. If you say iga, there ain't no such word as iga. It's iga. Waga bisi. Ooh, listen to that. Waga bisi. I hear short and a long. Bisi. Bisi. Hear it? Bisi. Waga bisi. It's milk. Summer. Miski. Miski. You don't hardly hear that in there because of the hiss of the C. Miski. I think I hear that long. Miski. Because if it was it, you would say Miski. That ain't right. Miski is drawn out. Miski. Okay. This is a tricky one. The right diphthong. Hobuiwa. Oh, yeah, hobuiwa. It's a oo and an e, and I got an explanation for that. I looked over it yesterday, but I don't have it written down here, and I will though. Don't think I'm gonna let y'all go in this. We're gonna get to that. Ahogoji. This is he opi u e we a u and an e. Ahogoji. This is a he a u a u. How in the world did you hear that? How in the world? But I got an explanation for it. I had to do some studying, but I found it. Logi. Li a uki e. Logi. Ah, that's tricky now. The way I learned how to spell it, I just memorized. Oh, I knew which one had diphthongs in it. Okay. Any question on any of this, guys? And is this helping you? Is this good for you? Because I ask this every once in a while. If, you know, are you learning from this? If not, we'll go a different direction. We're going to go a different direction. But everything has to do with tones and sounds. And you know, our biggest mistake as speakers is we mispronounce. And remember, we're not trying to change the language, we're trying to save the language. So I stress sounds until it gets like monotonous. And they'll say, oh no, sounds. Oh no, sounds. Without sounds, you don't have a language. You got to have sounds. Okay. Any questions? Okay.
Boko Chimojes.
Oh no. I'm bohiba.
Ma logi pohages was in sofki onga sofki maramoji roa.
Sufki is deep and logi is flooded.
Flooded.
Flooded, yeah, like flooded
Oh.
water or logi. Yeah, and then like sufki, like igana sufki dos. Does that make sense? Yeah, like logi, like deep water. Sufki is deep ground. Does that help? Does that help you?
Yeah, like a deep hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but logi means
Yeah.
like it's a water or liquid,
Yeah.
I guess. And sufki means like in the ground that's deep. Anything that's below is deep. Sufki. Is that good question? That's a good question. Is that the baby right there? Oh, good. Oh, homie tour. Well, man, fetch a leggy behind donga. It's getting okay. When the sun's straight up, fetch a leggy is noon, since we're on time. Fetch a leggy, it's noon time. So he got hungry. So, and my grandma, that's what she used to say. And I got those sun, I got the picture of the sun, and I have to download it on my flash drive to get it up here. But I will. I got the sun positions. And there's different ways, you know, like just when the sun's peeking over. My grandma used to say, son, Hushie, I leggy behind. She does hear that tone. Sun is almost up. Ah, we does. Ahwisi means it's standing there. But then when it comes up, she says, Hashi alegi bidos. Sun's already up. But it still be like, it's daylight, but it's not, it's still, it's just saying, and it don't say morning, it just says the sun is up.
Yeah, you it meant morning,
Yeah,
daylight.
yeah, daylight. You know, and then when it got to the middle of the morning, she'd say, Hatheti in Naskaba. Hatheti Naskaba. It's the middle between the middle of the high noon and that rising. It was in the middle of it. And then the straight up was Fachalegi noon or Hushi. Ale, you know, she said noon, Fachalegi. I think that's what she said, Fachalegi. Fachalegi, though, that was noontime. And I'm sure that's how they told time in the old country, in our own homelands. But then when we had European contact, time came in. And you know, time was nothing to us at one time. Time was nothing to us. And I still talk about that now. You know, back then, my mom used to say, Daddy no gagan, abi masnita docina tes imabogi. She said somebody got sick and we would go to their house for about 3 days. But now I want y'all to go back to in time. They had crops that they did. They had animals that they fed. They had to wash clothes by hand. They had to chop their wood to cook. They still had time to go and be with that person for 3 or 4 days. But now, we don't do that. But look at what we got. We just turn a knob on our stove and it lights up. They had a wood stove. We push a button and it washes our clothes. And they had to wash clothes by hand.
Mm-hmm.
They had to hang out their clothes and we just throw them in the dryer. Where's our time? What changed in us? They had to ride a buckboard and walk. And we can get anywhere close. 15, 30, at the most 30 minutes to an hour somewhere. But we still can't find time to do that. Enough time. So see how time has changed from back there to here? But I want to tell you this. How many has noticed that these months are just like this now? You start 1 month and before you know it, it's the next month. Like today's March 1st. We just started February.
Mm-hmm.
So is it the world? Is the world standing on? Is the world moving too fast? But I noticed these changes when the pandemic started. These changes, and you know, my mother told me things would change as the world got older. She said, when the world got older, she said, Becky, you'll see changes. Things that you never saw before, things that will happen that you never heard of before. I believe that's why our months are going by fast. And I believe things are changing. Even us, we're changing, but we don't have to. As Native people, we don't have to change, but we are. But we have to too, to that point. Because you know what? I gotta go doctor today when I get through with this class, and then I'm gonna get home and clean my house. And I had all week to do it, but I ain't had time. But we're okay, we can take this theory too. They had stay-at-home mothers back then. But they were just as busy because they had children to go to the pond and wash clothes. They didn't have washers and dryers. They had to wash clothes by hand. So how are we getting off of that track?
Running out of time.
Running out of time. We're running out of time. And maybe that's the whole point. We're running out of time. Maybe the world is running out of time.
I don't know, they did everything, mom did everything.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, about
Yeah. We still had time to go.
yeah. They quilted,
Uh-huh.
sewed, and
Yeah.
all in a day.
And we can do that.
I know.
Right there. So something's wrong here.
We're not managing time good.
Yeah, maybe. I
Something.
don't know. Something's
I don't
wrong
know.
here. But like my mom said, and she told me right before she died. I mean, it was like maybe 2-3 weeks. She said, "Inokira yichit. Alaga hanidos. Ajolagi magagadidulis." She said there's gonna be a bad illness that the elders had predicted. And she said, but she said, you may not see it, but your grandkids will. I think I saw it with my grandkids.
Mm.
I think I saw it. And she said, she said, they said at one time that it's gonna kill a lot of people. And it did. But I think I saw that. I think I saw it with my grandkids. And I'm not sure if I did, if that's what she's talking about, or is there another something coming? That's scary. That's scary because she said, this is what she told me. And I'm like, and I was like, what is it, Mom? And she said, Nagadividi, what is it? And she said, Pithis Kurundoes, and she said, she said, I don't know, but they did say there was going to be something going on. You don't know what it is. Or is it that or another one? Is there another one? But see, all of these questions is all native. All these things are all what the Mvskoke people believe. Yeah, they prophesied.
And they
Hit right
took
on.
it to heart.
Yeah, when they prophesied, just like she said, they took it to heart and it was written in stone.
Mhm.
And to me, everything that was told to me is coming to be right now. And that's what's scary. And a lot of things that they told me, I didn't understand when I was that age, but now it's making sense to me. So guys, look at your inner self as a native. Yeah,
Mhm.
your inner, and bring it out. And that helps with language too. Because it's starting to come in. It's you look into your inner self and let that come out. Let the native part come out. Let the stijati come out. And I don't know, a lot of people think that has nothing to do, but it has everything to do with it. Because your body has stijati in it, but your mind can change that real quick. You're thinking.
Mahaya,
Uh-huh.
is that what they call blood memory?
Yep. What it is, it's there, but you gotta let it take over. And
Mhm.
it's hard to do. It's hard to do, but it can be. It can be done. And my uncle one time, he told me, he said, you're mind over matter. He used to say there's mind over matter. And one time, he had bronchitis or something, and he was asthmatic, which asthma runs in our family. You know that. And so one time he said he couldn't breathe. He was having a hard time breathing. We was taking him to the hospital to get some oxygen and open his bronchial tubes up. And he got to breathing better. And I said, are you better? Because we was rushing and my husband was driving, and I didn't nothing. And we was going, and he said, yeah, I'm getting better. And I said, why? And he said, because Jesse Owens took over he said, I let him take over my body. And he was that runner.
Yeah.
He was that track runner. He said, I let him take over, and he said, I let him take over my body, and he said, I'm breathing better. But that was afterwards, because when we got him to the hospital, you know, they said, well, you're doing better. But on the way up there, man, he was labored breathing. But when we got him there, they put him on oxygen and everything, and he got better. And on the way back, I said, well, I said, you did get better, you know, and I wasn't talking about asking him if anything happened. I was just asking him, well, you got better, you know, breathing got better. And he said, I let Jesse Owens take over my mind. He always practiced mind over matter. This is what we're going to do here. This is the whole thing. That's why I tell you stories. Mind over matter. If you make your mind up to speak this language, you're going to. You're going to learn it. It's mind over matter. Okay, we got 4 minutes. Any questions? Aboka Ozaska, y'all have any questions? Or y'all got a comment? You know, is this helping you? One thing I want to ask this, is this helping you? Is this going to be something that, and then we're going to go into some short phrases here soon. So make sure, like this telling time, that's every day. Clock every day. We live by time. Any questions? Okay, here's the fasting. There you go. If it's helping you, this is what we're going to do. Fasting. Yeah, we have respect for the fasting too, because that's who we are. That's where we get our we'll go back over this. It says, sorry, I missed the first part of class. Not sure if it was mentioned, but how do we say March? And we're gonna go through months because we live in months, don't we? We are. I had that in my mind today, months. We are gonna do that. Maybe beginning of next week we'll do months. But now, okay, the 11th, I don't know when my 6 weeks ends. I haven't even checked it. But the 11th, on the March 11th, we'll be in New Mexico. So I won't be here from the 11th to that Thursday. Hopefully we'll try to rest up by Friday and get back to you. But we're going to do months. So I will, because we're on time right now, you know. So we're going to New Mexico to do some conference out there. So any questions? Any questions? All right. We got about 2 minutes. If this is helping you, give me some feedback. If not, give me some feedback, because we can always, like I said, this language is leaving us faster than we can save it. So if anything to help you learn, I got to, as a Mahaya, I have to do that. Okay.
The tones exercises, I think, helping me listen better.
Good. 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 Always. See, the tone has everything to do with language. Just like, and we have accents, just like the English people, they'll say butter. I like this word. They say butter. But and when they say butter, we say bishini ha. Hear our tone? Bishini ha. That's what we say. And you know, just like and it's got the butter. And my daughter can speak just like a British person, and she'll go and go to the grounds or something. She'll start talking in that British tone or an accent, and she just does that. My daughter don't have no sense at all. Okay. Okay. Hasiskika. Oh no. Fatsalega. Ohibahaniga. Fatsalega is 12 o'clock. Oh, Hamgaro Hisje, Bonayan. Yeah, I kept talking now. It's 1 o'clock. It's past Fatchalegi, noontime. Oh, I know. Monday in Hayatgat. Monday. In Hayatgat. Chihijagatis. Chihijagatis Monday in Hayatgat. or Monday in Monday. Okay, Mado, everybody. Mado,
Mado.
chihitagates.
Mado.
Mado,
Ah,
moche.
chihitagates. Mado.